Good morning. How are you? It's Moji. I'm going to wait a few minutes for people to come on and then, um, we'll start. This is Moji Solo Wilson of Authentic Conversations Moji. It's been a couple of days, right? Yeah. Life has been very, very exciting, I must tell you. Loads and loads of new things are happening all over the world. I can't begin to give you good news because I'm waiting for some myself. But it is what it is. Um, in the meantime, while we're waiting for other guests and friends to come on, let's just chill a second. I'm going to go find the article of what we're talking about today. Integrity, cheating 101 is the topic. And I generally don't do gossip, but this particular one is so important that we talk about it because there's a lot of life lessons. In every situation that happens to me, I'm always asking, what is it I'm supposed to learn from this? I mean, sometimes it's because we make wrong choices. Sometimes it's because we're cowards. Sometimes it's because we're really not ready to change our lives, but yet we want the best of the best and we want to live a fabulous life. But people are not willing to pay the price. So hold on one second, yeah? Give me a second. Give me a quick second. Let me go there and find. Yeah, I got it. Stay there for one second. Don't go anywhere. I love this piece. So, hello and welcome back. It's Moji Solar Wilson. How are you? It's been a few days, right? You're thinking, oh my God, what happened to you? I got a lot darker because I've been working out in the sun and all kinds of shit is going on in the world, and nobody knows where the universe is going. I don't know. I'm like desperately looking for good news. So if anybody has good news, I appreciate all the stuff that's sent to me in my inbox. But honestly, I'm really, really ready for good news. I want good news. But today, let's talk about the real juicy stuff. Juicy, juicy, juicy. I don't do gossip. That's not true. I do gossip. I just don't do it in public like that. But anyways, so last week, a Facebook friend sent me this piece because she wanted my input into it, and I asked permission to share the story, which I shared on my page. So there's this thing, I got this inbox from someone that wanted my advice for a particular situation, right? I'm always talking about integrity and all that stuff. Look, a lot of us Nigerians, we're not really born like with integrity feeding us because you can't survive in Nigeria. That's why a lot of us are out of the country, right? If your integrity and your moral compass is intact, it's kind of hard, very hard to survive in Nigeria. So anyways, so I got this inbox here and I don't see anybody on. So if you're on here, just say hello so I can see your comments. So I can make sure everything is working. So I got this inbox the other day, right? And I've been having blues. I've had a couple of friends die and all that stuff. So of course, I'm not really feeling well. And then I got this inbox where this particular person wanted my feedback because I'm a certified life coach. I'm like, I get this inbox. I read it the first time. I'm thinking to myself, nah, this can't be real. Let me give you the synopsis of the story. I posted it last week on my page. So it turns out this young lady was dating a man who is married to somebody else, right? And they've been dating for 5 years and everything is all hunky-dory and they're having a fabulous time, right? So they're having a great time and the older guy is paying her way, and she's like, youth corps is usually like, 19, 20 years old. So she's doing her youth corps somewhere and the older guy is paying her bills. I'm telling you, I couldn't make this thing up. The older man is paying her bills. She gets pregnant. She has the child. The guy tells her, please don't tell anybody. I don't want my wife to find out. First of all, red flag. Okay, but we're not going to get there. Let me finish the story and then I'll break it down. So the older guy doesn't want her to tell anybody that it's his baby because apparently he's somebody very famous and all that stuff, or big shot. So she has the kid. The kid is now 5 years old. And she's still dating the guy, the older man. She's still doing the jiggy with the guy on the other side, right? On the what we call, the gay people, we call it the down low, when you're sneaking around, having a little jiggy on the side. So She goes around cheating with this older man. She has a 5-year-old child. The older man is paying her way. And then when she goes to youth corps, I guess she finishes university and she has to serve 1 year. She goes to youth corps, boom, jams a guy. She falls in lust or love. Everything is all wonderful. They're all hunky-dory. The guy decides to take her home. He meets, the first time they went to their home, she only gets to meet the mother, right? This story is complicated though. She only gets to meet the mom. Alrighty then. So she meets the mom and everything was great. So the mother makes an appointment with both of them, the son and this girl, the cheatee, right? The cheater is the dad. The cheatee is a young woman that has a baby for the guy. So they show up to dinner. And I swear to God, I didn't make this up. I posted it on my public page. They showed up to dinner, right? And guess what? Her sugar daddy that's been paying her way for over 5 years is the father of her fiance. My question is, I posted it on my page because I didn't know what to do. I posted it on my public page because I'm like, if I really tell this girl what I really think about her, she's going to kill herself. Really, she will murder herself. She will just commit suicide. My father had 12 wives, and I grew up with 12 stepmothers. Name them: black, white, green, American, British. I had them all, right? So cheating 101. I'm not saying people shouldn't cheat, but look, everything comes with a price. Everything in life comes with a price. First of all, you're going to cheat. That's great. You're cheating, you had a child. So now your child doesn't even know who the father is because you've been sworn into secrecy, right? We don't know. Oh, hi, Miss Cheryl. You've been sworn into secrecy. You're not even allowed to tell anybody. So, okay, so your child doesn't even know who the dad is, but you're so stupid to the point that, wait, when you're dating a sugar daddy, aren't you supposed to know his name? And look, let's even go. I'm not going to go biblical because that's not my thing. I believe in God, but I also believe in freedom of choice. I have no beef with people cheating. My father cheated all his life. Well, he didn't really cheat because he would tell the women, I'm married. And Nigerian women don't seem to care if you're married or not married. Most Nigerian women, I should say. And for me, cheating is like one of the things that I find despicable. I've done it before. I'm not a saint. But I was one of those cheatees that I was paying the guy's rent. I bought his wife a ring because I wasn't really gay. I just wanted a companion. I am gay rather, and I wanted a companion. So it wasn't about jiggy jiggy. It was more about friendship for me. And I was paying for his rent. I paid his rent. I paid this bill. But this woman, this girl's boyfriend, sugar daddy's been paying her way for 5 years, right? 5 freaking years, Phil. Think about it. So, like I said, integrity in Nigeria, in the toilet, from the government to the people, all that stuff. A lot of us had to retrain ourselves, and I have no shame in admitting it. But here's the deal. This is 2020. We have the internet, we have phone, we have cell phones, we have all kinds of stuff. I mean, I could FaceTime my mother, who's bloody 80 years old, almost, in Nigeria, and she can see me face to face. You want to tell me that this girl is dating someone, Phil, and she has not thought to ask his last name? Because if she, think about it, she didn't think to ask for the guy's last name. How is that even possible? How in the world are you dating somebody and you don't know their features? You don't know their home. You don't know their children. You don't know the guy's children's names. I mean, how are you dating? You're in a relationship with somebody. I don't care if you're cheating or your side piece or your wife number 10, because in Africa, in Nigeria, you're allowed to have more than one wife. So you mean this woman did not know the guy's name? She didn't know his last name. You're with somebody for 5 years. You don't even know the children's names. And then you go and meet his son somewhere, and you date the son for almost 5, 6, 7, 8 months, almost a year. And you never bothered to ask him, what's your dad's name? You didn't ask him, what's your mother's name? You didn't look at your son that you have with the guy's, your boyfriend's dad, and try and see if there's features that are similar. You know, one of my biggest issues in life is that, God forbid, I always wanted to know who my dad's children were, because I left the country very early. But because I was so afraid, maybe, God forbid, I'd go and meet somebody that's like my brother or my cousin or somebody, and I start dating them and fall in love. Can you just imagine? Anyways, so she dates this man for almost a year, never bothered to ask for the father's name. I mean, how is that even possible that you date somebody for a year and you know absolutely nothing about them? See, this is where integrity comes in. Because look, again, I'm not telling people they can't cheat. I'm just saying everything comes with a price. I mean, let's be real. We're talking about authentic conversations here. I am not Willy Wonka. I'm not going to sugarcoat things so people can like me. I'm going to give it to you straight. If you want authentic conversations, you come here. I don't care if it's 5 or 2 people. We're going to have the truth. We're going to have to start to speak in truth because look, many things happened where she could have corrected her step. You're dating a man, you get pregnant. He says, don't tell anybody. Okay, fine. But while you're dating him, are you having conversations or are you even looking at each other? Are you what? All he does, you do the jiggy jiggy and he leaves. You don't have dialogue. You know nothing about him. But yeah, you pop out a child for this person. What if there's medical issues you need to know about this person because of your child? When you go to the doctors and they ask you, what's the medical history? What are you going to tell them? Because you guys don't talk. You just do. See, there's a difference between dating somebody and prostitution. Okay. Don't get upset with me. Hold your horses. But think about it. When you're dating, there should be a small, an ounce of compassion, an ounce of curiosity where you just want to ask questions about this person. When I met my wife, we talked about things that happened when I was 10. That's how we found out that we had a lot of things in common. We lived on the same streets. You talk to people that you're really interested in. I mean, if the old guy was a cash machine and all she was doing was sex for money, then you can understand why they never talked about his children. They never talked about his wife. They never talked about anything. Oh my God. You mean all you do is just jiggy jiggy? All right. So then all that happens and you meet the guy. You walk in and it's the guy's father, your fiance's father. It sounds like a freaking horrible, bad Nollywood movie, doesn't it? But it's not. This is reality of life. So she walks in and then she passed out because she's pregnant, 7 months pregnant. 7 months pregnant. I swear to God. I just sat there and I looked at my screen and I'm thinking to myself, this guy made it up. So I called the guy that sent it to me and I said, my God, this sounds like a horrible, badly written movie. How can she's 7 months pregnant and she's wait, so that makes the father of her unborn child the uncle of her. Wait, what does it even make? It makes the father of her unborn child it's complicated, isn't it? The brother of the child that she has and the brother of the child she's carrying. Somebody on the page when I posted it last week said, tell her to have an abortion. I'm like, look, I told them I didn't want to be a part of it, but I asked for permission to use this on the show. First, have an abortion at 7 months. I don't care who you are. 7 months, it's a child. That's murder. So I'm not saying people shouldn't have abortions. I'm just saying in Moji's world, that's murder. So that's not even an option. So she's saying that she just wants to disappear and she doesn't want to tell anybody anything. I'm like, wait. At that point, I had to jump in. You know me, I don't like stupidities. Look, ish happens in life. But one of the things I don't like is people staying in the closet, because when you stay in the closet in any part of your life, it's going to affect other people. I don't care if you're gay, straight, crooked, monisexual, transsexual, name it. Monisexual, green card sexual, homosexual, heterosexual, it doesn't matter. We're all human beings. So if you're in the closet in any part of your life, guess what happens? It's going to come back and bite you in the knuckles later on in life. So Miss Thing thinks it's okay for her to not talk about it. It's okay for her not to say anything about it. I was like, whoa, no, So I called up the guy that sent it to me and I said, look, he's like, do you want to talk to her? I said, no, absolutely not. Because if I talk to her, she's not going to like it. He's like, but she needs you. No, I'm not doing it because I have to pick my own battles. The reason I choose my own battles these days is everybody is not my assignment. Everybody is not my assignment. Because when you talk to people that are in the closet, they're the first ones jumping up and down. Oh, I have a right to be in the closet. It doesn't matter what kind of closet. I have a right. Yes, you have a right to stay in the closet by your goddamn self. See, she should have stayed in that jacked up relationship with the sugar daddy that's paying her way, because that's her job. That's not even a love affair. Because if you've been with somebody for 6-7 years and you don't know the person's children's names, What kind of relationship is that? Usually my dad's girlfriends knew more about my dad and what's current in his life than the women at home. I don't know about anybody else. I'm just talking about my father. I'm not talking about anybody else. I don't know how it works anywhere else, because that's just a no-no. It's an absolute no-no. So you're dating somebody. You didn't care enough to ask questions. You didn't care enough to find out about his family. You didn't care enough to find out about his medical history. Once you decide to pop a child out, which we all know as a woman, in most communities, once you pop a child out, allegedly, it's supposed to be your bank card to their bank accounts. Which it is in her case, because the guy pays the rent for where she lives with her boyfriend, who's his father, right? I mean, talk about integrity, people. Talk about integrity. When she met the guys, when she should have fessed up and said, hey, you see the lifestyle I'm living, it's really not something I can afford. It's I have a boyfriend that pays the bill and yada, yada, yada. Be straight up with the person. And then he would have asked you questions. And then I have to ask myself, and I'm sure you guys are asking yourself, wait, she's dating the father and she's dating the son. How about the last names? You mean you just met John and you didn't ask John for his last name? How does that even happen? It makes absolutely no sense to me, because I'm sitting here thinking, how does that happen that you don't recognize the last names are the same? Because if I meet somebody that's the last name as my wife, not even me, last name as my wife on social media, I usually ask them, where are you from? That's like a question you ask. But you're dating a man for almost 9 months. You're 7 months pregnant. You're dating the father who's paying your bills, who's paying all your bills, including your rent, your car, your everything. And you don't know their last name. That one, Boko. And now we even have to ask the question, really. To ask the question, whose child is she carrying? Because if she's still doing the jiggy-jiggy with the dad and she's doing the jiggy-jiggy with the son, then who's the father of the child? See, I'm not the moral police. I really am not. I mean, all I'm saying is, look, at some point, if we want our lives to change, we have to start owning our mistakes. Without owning your mistake, how are you going to grow? Without realizing where you went wrong, how are you going to correct your steps? So now Miss Thing wants to run away. No, that's not what you do. In my opinion, you go and you face the music. For all you know, the dad is going to say, or the son, who she's allegedly truly really in love with, one day, the son might say, look, I love you very much. Let's just keep it between us. We don't have to tell anybody. And then he'll go to his dad and make a deal with his dad. You don't know. See, for me, what I've learned is, in my, 55 years on earth, more than half a century on earth, what I've learned is that the very thing we're the most afraid of, right, is what the universe uses to bless us. Because first of all, you're carrying a child at 7 months. Abortion, please, is not even an option as far as I'm concerned. You don't know if that's the next Barack Obama. You don't know if that's whatever the kid is going to be. It might be an axe murderer for all I care. But because we don't know what that child is going to be, we owe that child. We owe the one that she gave birth to. She owes. I don't owe them jack. I don't. I'm sorry. Sherry, I don't know if that sounds crazy, but I don't owe them anything. Do I? No, I don't. But she owes her children the truth. See, without the truth always sets us free. I posted something on my page earlier about that until you come out of the closet, you cannot get the right kind of love. And Jide, whatever his name is, Jide Brown, wanted to argue with me. I'm like, are you gay? Talk to me. Are you gay? Because if you're gay, then you can understand where I'm coming from. I was in the closet for 30 years. Being in the closet with my sexuality made me choose a lot of things and accept a lot of things that I, in my wildest dreams, would not have settled for. So you can imagine if you're lying about the sugar daddy that's paying her bill, she's lying about the sugar daddy, and she's going to now go on and lie some more. Every decision you make from the point where you started to lie, don't pafka. That's one of the reasons why I'm very open, because look, nobody's going to hold anything over my head. When I went into a relationship with somebody I knew I shouldn't have, for 12 years, and he literally stole my money. He owes me $95,000 in child support. I never sit here and say, oh, it's his fault. Then I always admit the fact that I knew I was gay at 14. I'd never been with a woman, so I thought maybe I could be straight because I was told by churches, if you pray hard, it's going to go away. If you pray and you fast, so I prayed and I fast. I was 110 pounds, soaking wet at one point in my life. No joke. It wasn't until I came out of the closet that I started to gain weight, because it's like, oh, I can finally breathe. Because once you come out of that closet, a closet is a lie that you've been telling. A closet is a lie. A closet is being fake on social media, pretending like you're it. A closet is, I talk about how I make my own wigs and I wear my wig. I used to be in the closet with my hair. I was in the closet with every goddamn part of my life because of one closet. So when you're in the closet in your life and you have what happens is that you start pushing. It's a slippery slope, Oh, I think I might be gay, but I'm not really sure. So let me go and date men because, the society says I should be dating men. So you start dating men, but you're not going to date the good guys. You're going to pick the ones on the bottom because you can't accept love when you don't love yourself. The same thing goes for when you're cheating with another person. You don't see the value in you. So you start making excuses because you've been lying to cover your steps for so damn long, and you won't have the opportunity to be even able to see when the right person comes. I don't care. Again, this is not a straight gay crooked issue. No, you could be a money sexual, you could be a green card sexual. It does not matter. It's integrity. See, when people start to have integrity, boy, let me tell you, having integrity is not easy in this world. I'm telling you, because the world will hate you. The world will, and they will tell you you're crazy because you don't believe in doing certain things, because you don't think it's fair for people to hurt other people. I don't believe that it's okay for gay and lesbians to marry the opposite gender, because I've been there. Not only do you break yourself, you break other people. If you're a lesbian and you're married to a good man, right? The guy's killing himself, trying to do everything to make you happy. That's why most of us that are gay, we end up with jacked up people, because really, they're horrible people anyway, so it's okay. But when you're with a good person, the good person is trying their best to do everything to make sure that they can enhance your joy. Not knowing that your sexuality, you're not sexually attracted to them. You might like them as a person, but you're not going to be doing the jiggy with them. So that person you're going to break that person. Then you'll break yourself. It's a vicious cycle. The same thing when you're lying. A lot of my Facebook friends, they're sugar babies. They're all sugar babies. One of them was trying to challenge me the other day. How do you make your money? I said, honey, Google my name. I own a real estate company. I own an investment company. I do this, I do that. I'm like, I should have been a Jamaican. Then I turned to her and said, oh yeah, tell me what you do. All of a sudden, it's hormonal. She's self-employed. Every motherfucker is self-employed in Nigeria. Self-employed with somebody else's in there. That's how they make their money. Money for hand, back for ground. But they'll be the one on Facebook posting on social media, praise God, hallelujah. In the meantime, they're tiffing off of other women's plates. They're tiffing off of men's plates. They're tiffing. Lack of integrity. Integrity. When you start to have integrity, people will not like you. You will, seriously, nobody's going to like you when you have it. Most people won't like you unless people with integrity will like you because you're speaking the language. But most people won't like you because, look, a lot of the ish people do. Me, I just walk up past lately because if I start to talk, I look around me and I'm thinking to myself, this is 2020. How in the world are you cheating with a person and you didn't even bother to ask them for their last name? So basically, you're a money sexual. You never liked the person, and then you go and pop out a child because you think that's going to secure your future. It's a bitch, isn't it? See, integrity is the reason why the wife of a pastor took a 1 billion naira contract in a country where there's no decent public hospitals. Lack of integrity. And once you lack integrity and money is all that pushes you and moves you, Egbe will knock. I've been there. I'm telling you, you start bending a little bit here and there, and then one day you just wake up and realize your back is broken. Yeah. Look, everybody is not going to be a wife. Everybody, I'm not the one that sits here and says, because honestly, I never even believed in marriage, because if my father had 12 wives, how really sacred is marriage? Think about it. But when you meet the right person and you connect with that person, a lot of things changes. Problem with that is that when you're already walking around saddled with all kinds of weight, a child that you can't even tell anyone who the dad is, you have no way of supporting yourself. See, me, I'm huge on empowerment. I would have 10 streams of income because I know, like they say in my village, Onoko Woja, 10 streams of income. That's my goal in life. And I'm up to number, I don't even know what, but I'm close. Think about it is that when you worship money, not for what money can do for you, but as a way, as a sign of who you are, that's when you start to bend. You start to compromise little things in your life. You stop telling the truth because you want people to like you, so that when people like your post, you can get paid by Facebook or you can get paid. I don't do that. I speak authentically. What I feel is what you get, because nobody's to speak. Absolutely nobody. And that's the beauty of having integrity. And integrity is something we all have to work on as human beings. Look at Trump. It took him 6 months to admit that people need to wear masks. 6 months. 140,000 people have died. Millions of people have contracted coronavirus. Nigeria is about to hit the pandemic. Is about to hit Nigeria, where most of the government officials are crooks. Billions, 50 billion naira was donated to Nigeria as a country for coronavirus. They divided it up among themselves. Hospitals were not built. They built tents. And then they paid their wives or the wives of bankers. The same bank, go and say, probably that donated the money. Now the guy's wife, who's a banker, the guy's wife, who's a party planner, gets a 1 billion naira contract. 1 billion. In a country where people can't eat 3 square meals, where there's no electric, there's no running water, there's no nothing. Integrity. And then the woman dies in a hotel. I'm not saying she deserved to die. Absolutely not. But I'm saying karma is a bitch. This young woman that was pregnant with somebody's child, that had a child with somebody else's husband, that never bothered to ask for the names of the man's children, never even asked, I'm sure, because if you ask, I'm sure he'll tell you. To the point where she knew nothing about the man, she jammed his son, her sugar daddy's son, built a relationship with the sugar daddy's son without telling the son that she has another boyfriend that pays her bills. Integrity. When the moral compass is broken, when your moral compass is broken, a lot in one's life becomes broken. It's exhausting. For me, I just tell it as it is these days, because it's exhausting trying to, I'm not going to, I'm too old to be trying to remember what I said, when I said, and how I said. I'd rather just, this is it, deal with it. If you can't handle it, keep walking, because you're not meant for me. Cheating is not the issue, because you can cheat. Cheating is immoral, according to some people. To me, everybody's not going to be a wife. Everybody's not going to be the main dish. And as long as there's demand, there will be supply. You know, a lot of people like to say there's not enough men out there for women and all that. Even in the gay world, lesbians cheat on each other and all that. It's a matter of who has a moral compass that's not broken. There's nothing wrong with you meeting somebody that tickles your fancy. Absolutely nothing while you're married. But at least have the common decency and the courage to let the other person go so that they can find their own mate. And if you're going to be in a relationship as somebody's second wife, make sure that you're not a dirty little secret, because only dirty little secrets are not spoken about, are not seen in public, are not acknowledged. All this, let me not even go to that one, because if I go to that one, let me tell you, people are not going to like me today. But hey, do I care? No, let's have this conversation. Cheating. See, a lot of people in Nigerian LGBTQ community will tell you that they are, no, I'm bisexual. Honey, you're not bisexual if you're dating, if you're married to a man and you're cheating with a woman, or you're a man married to a woman and you're cheating with a man. You're a cheater, not a bisexual. So when you get into that community where they're like, oh, it's oppression, it's skinny, it's honey, let's be real. I owned it that I did not have the courage to live my authentic life. And when I did, I got up and I walked. So you lot need to start owning your own ish, because look, the emotional damage that people are enduring at the moment or experiencing at the moment because of people in the closet is too much. It's not even your husbands or your wives that bothers me. It's the LGBTQ people that are standing up and saying, look, I want to live an authentic life. And when you come to them and they want to live an authentic life, and they are thinking, and you're making promises that you're leaving your partner and this and this and that, they're not looking for you to pay their bills. They all have their own businesses. Like I posted on my page earlier today, LGBTQ, we ain't ordinary. We're all over, most of us are overachievers. When you throw stones at most of us, we use those same damn stones. We use it to build mansions and castles. But when these fake undercover brothers and sisters that prefer to have heterosexual privileges, as opposed to people like me that sit here every day and say, hey, I'm gay as a $3 bill, it is what it is, to endure what we have to go through to live our authentic lives. And I'm not faulting them for anything. But what they do is they break their wives, they break their husbands, they break their heterosexual partners. But they break my brothers and sisters that are living their authentic lives. They break them as well. Heartache is the only thing that comes out of most affairs. See, when you start to love yourself, like I told somebody 4 or 5 years ago, I said to somebody that came to ask me out, and I knew they were married. I said, I don't date married people. She's like, you're gay. You don't date married people? I said, yes, I don't date married people. I'm sorry. I like me. See, when you love yourself, honey, you don't settle for crumbs anymore. When you love yourself, you don't settle for crumbs off the table of other people. And please don't tell me it's about financials, because, honey, there's a lot of different ways to make money. You might not be driving a private plane. You might not be Otedola's daughter. You can make money, pay your own bills, cut your coat according to your size, which is what I did. And I told them, not only did I tell this person, I don't date married women, I don't date women in the closet. She's like, no, I don't. I will not date you if you're in the closet. I will not date you if you're married. I will not date you if you're 45 and below. I was specific. I will not date you if you don't have your own. And I will not date you if you're not a spiritualist. You could be a Christian, you could be a Muslim. You just have to believe in a higher being, because I'm none of those things. I'm an omnist, but I believe in God. So I was very specific. See, you can't hold on to some things like that girl that wrote that thing at my page. She had a boyfriend. She had a sugar daddy. Now tell me, what room does she have to catch the love of her life? When you're not in a closet in your life in any realm, what happens is that you start to attract good things in life. You start to attract super fantabulous beings and human beings, because the energy that you exude will attract the beauty in life. It will attract amazing people, because metal is the only thing that magnet attracts. Magnet does not pick up paper. It doesn't pick up water. It only picks up metal. As they say, it takes a diamond to cut a diamond. So you can't be looking for somebody super fantastic without integrity, without a moral compass, with compromised everything. Because I said to the person that sent me the inbox, I said, look, first of all, this is what I recommend that you do. 1, sit the boyfriend and the father down in the same room and have the conversation. Call it, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Have the child, because there's nothing you can do about it. It's 7 months, you're 7 months pregnant. Where are you going? So have the child. But have the child knowing fully well that you're going to have to disclose to your children at some point or the other that they are actually brothers. Be honest. Honesty is the best thing. It took me so long to realize that. It took me losing everything I had. It took me almost losing my mind. Because when you hate yourself, what you don't want to be here, right? So you're looking for ways to just check out. Being in the closet in our lives and cheating on ourselves and cheating on our mates and cheating, I don't cheat, but cheating on your partner, cheating on your mate is not acceptable, and cheating with other people's partners. Value yourselves. It's one thing people say, oh, but they made a mistake. Okay, mistake the first time. But if a guy has a revolving door or a woman has a revolving door in her heart and her bed or his bed, how safe are you really with this person? I would think most people want to be in a relationship where they feel safe. But of course, if all you want is to be a second fiddle, shuku to you, shuku times 10. But be clear with everybody. Disclosure, disclosure, disclosure. Let everybody know what games you're playing. Let everybody know exactly what it is that you're doing. If this girl had opened her mouth ages before, they could have worked something out. If the man's son actually truly loves her, they could have moved to another town, moved to another city, moved someplace else. Because this one is just a mess and it will blow. And when it blows, you'll hear it in the newspapers. Of course, it'll blow soon, like everything else that happens in social media. But cheating, you do it what works for you. I just don't think compromising yourself, compromising your integrity, compromising your moral compass, compromising your self-worth is worth it just to have a warm body next to you. The more you stay by yourself, the more you grow. The more you grow, the more attractive you become to whatever agenda it is that you're attracted to. The more authentic, the more truthful you are, the more authentic you are, the sexier you are. At least that's what I've been told. I don't know. That's what I've been told. I met my wife sitting on this show right here many years ago, 4 years ago. And I was talking about something and I just happened to mention that, yeah, and I'm gay and I'm a lesbian and I'm single or something like that. I'm a single lesbian or something like that. And that's how the doors opened up. Imagine if I'd been sitting here pretending that I was straight and, everything is great and da-da-da-da-da-da. She would have just looked at me like another straight Nigerian woman. So authenticity, transparency, being truthful to yourself first and then to others, that's the only way you can get to your promised land, because sometimes behind your worst fears lies the keys to your promised land. I've been saying that for many, many, many years. And I am so grateful to the universe for all the life lessons. They didn't come cheap. It was very painful, but I figure part of the reason I went through all that is to be able to pass this on to others. My name is Mojisola Wilson, and I'm going to say hello to Miss Cheryl. Phil Patterson, my friend, says integrity is being honest in small things. Exactly. It's a very little things, Phil. It's a very, very little things. Like when I talk about I make my own wigs, people laugh. They're like, why do you have to tell us you wear a wig? Because look, it's a wig. It's a wig. So what's the big deal? It's, being truthful. I'm not saying people should air out their dirty laundry. Absolutely not. But integrity is being able, I think I read it somewhere. I don't remember where I read it. It says, I think there's a quote out there somewhere that says, integrity is doing the right things even when no one is looking. Even when no one is looking. Phil says in military terms, bingo, thank you. That's exactly what it is. I don't remember where I read it. Our son goes to a military academy, right? But I read it somewhere. Hello, Sherry Sugar. That's really one day. I'm telling you, this story has just been on my mind for the past couple of days, and I thought, I need to come out here and share the story because there's so many layers on this thing. So many layers. I mean, let's take number one. You meet a guy. You're dating a guy. He's your sugar daddy. He's paying the bills. Do you guys even have conversation enough to for you to get to learn a little bit about him, a little bit about his life, his last name, his children's name. So now you get pregnant, the guy's paying all your bills, he comes and goes as he wishes. Shuku to you if it works for you. Do your thing, baby. Now, the guy comes and goes as he wishes. Then while you are in, which means you were dating him while you were in university and he probably paid the university fees. See, people are slipping their way to the top, girl. Anyways, so now she's dating this guy. The guy's cool. He's paying her bills, and then she gets pregnant. Unprotected sex. Any man that's paying your bill and coming back and forth, anybody, man, woman, dog, cat, if they're doing it with you, they're doing it with other people. So you assume that this guy is only dating you, but what if his wife is cheating as well? Everybody you sleep with, or with having unprotected sex, you're sleeping with everybody that they sleep with, right? All right. So we get that. So she gets pregnant, has the kid. 5 years later, she meets the man's son. You meet the guy's son. You don't know. You don't know his last name. You don't ask him questions. 7 months later, now he proposes to the woman. The woman says yes. They have dinner with the mother. I'm still confused. You have dinner with your fiance's mom. You still don't make the connection of the last names. Okay. Maybe the sugar daddy lied to her. But if she had integrity, she would have told the son that she has a sugar daddy, or she would have told the sugar daddy that she has a boyfriend. And all that stuff would have been worked out. And maybe first week, second week that she met the guy and fell in love with the guy, and she had disclosed to the sugar daddy that she had fallen in love with a young man or whatever, she would never become pregnant because she would have found out, that's my son, kind of thing, right? So, but she didn't, because she thinks she's slick. Integrity, moral compass, broken moral compass. So she didn't tell anything to anybody. Then she gets pregnant. And now they're getting married. She has a child, a son for the father. She's 7 months pregnant now with a child for the son. Where do you go from that? I mean, I'm sorry, but where do you go from that? It sounds like a very horrible Nollywood movie script, but it's the reality of life. It happens, I heard, every day. How do we fix this problem? Tell the truth. Number one, tell the truth. Number two, tell the truth. Number three, tell the truth. Number four. The only thing that's going to save her out of this mess, not even save her, clear her conscience, is to just tell the truth. Keep it moving. Be authentic. Be truthful. If you're in a shag ship, don't pretend your shag ship is a relationship, a romantic relationship. We have situationships. We have shag ships. We have all kinds of ships are floating out there. My main thing is know the ship that you're in so you know how to row your boat if anything happens. On a ship, there's always a little dinghy that they put on there, like a canoe. If something, the boat capsizes, there's always a thing they throw in the water. If you don't know what kind of dinghy it is, you don't know if it's a canoe or if it's one of those rubber thing or a speedboat. No, you won't. So understand the concept of what you're doing. In my opinion, tell the truth to everybody. There's nothing like disclosing. The sugar daddy is a sugar daddy. He's not going to tell you. Even if he tells you don't have a boyfriend and you go and fall in love, tell him. Be truthful. One of the things I respect about my dad, oh God, I always say people have coaches. My dad might have players. They talk about players. My dad was so cool. I mean, misogyny and everything as well. But my dad was really cool. He never lied to anybody. It would be like, oh, I have 10 wives. You want to be a part of it? It's your choice. Give people the opportunity to say yes or no. There's nothing wrong. And you will always, people will respect you for telling the truth. Look, I have friends that only date married men because they don't want to be bothered. They just believe that they don't have the time. For whatever reason, that's all they date. Shuku to them. But they will never, ever, ever tell somebody, oh, I'm going to marry you. I love you. Leave your wife. No, they don't want you to leave your wife. Stay right where you are. But be honest. Now, remember when I talked about there's always somebody getting the short end of the stick? Obviously, the wife doesn't usually know about, unless they're Nigerian. Most Nigerian women know and they look the other way. But in European cultures, most people don't know. So even if the girlfriend tells the cheater, negotiates with the cheater, I should say, because life is about negotiations, right? And compromises. The wife is usually left in the dark. Do I have anything against people cheating? No. But I have a lot against people not disclosing. The same way I have a lot with people not disclosing that they're LGBTQ. There's a lot of straight women that will marry LGBT, that will marry gay men in a heartbeat. Psh, I know a couple of people that did that. They marry gay men because the gay men treat them better. They're nice. They cook. They clean. They cut hair. They do nails. They help them with their makeup, and they're cool with it. It's an arranged marriage. It's a contract. I know you're gay. You do you. Just give me 2 kids, and I'm good. Disclosure. There's nothing wrong with people choosing to live their lives the way they want to. Absolutely nothing. Just be honest. Be honest with people so they know where they're going. It's like, when you meet somebody and you're really ready to start dating and they have bad credit, you want them to tell you they have bad credit before you marry them, and now the debt is yours, right? It's the same thing. Tell the partners what you're carrying, what kind of load you're carrying. They might help you. For all you know, the young man would have accepted her because people make mistakes. Things happen when we're young. There's a lot of shitty I did when I was young that today I won't make the same choices. But until you face your demon, there's no way to repair your moral compass. Until you face your demons, there's no way to fix your integrity. But if we all start to walk with a little bit of integrity every day, society will get better, life will get better in general, and most of us will respect ourselves. When we respect ourselves, we tend to respect each other. Everybody around us gets respected when we love ourselves, we love others. It's common sense. It's not even, I didn't come up with it, it's nothing original. And that's a fact. Cheating 101, transparency. That's all I'm going to say about that. You guys are terribly quiet today, but it is what it is. Let me see if I can find who else is on here. I don't know, but anyways, this is Mojisola Wilson. I mean, I'm not usually short of words these days with the way the world is going. I'm telling you, I'm just having a really, really rough time with the way society is going, with the way politics is going, with the way Nigeria just shut down its airspace. Like, who does that? You're going to shut in 220 million people. Planes can land, planes can go up. What about food? What about shipments of merchandises? Integrity, again, because they're trying to cover up a lot of billions of dollars that they've stolen. The world is just crazy. But it starts with you and I, though. If we don't all start with ourselves, if we don't start with ourselves, how do we expect the world to change? How? It doesn't make sense. But let me tell you something I learned the hard way. Behind your worst fear lies the keys to your promised land. When I was worried about people finding out I'm gay, oh my God, I couldn't even look at women because I'm like, oh, maybe they'll know that I kind of fancy them. I would like to be romantically involved. I didn't make friends with women. All my friends were men growing up. But the moment that I owned who I am, I was able to fall in love with myself. I've made a lot of mistakes and I've owned them. I've apologized to a whole lot of people. We're all here to learn. We're all growing. So for me, when we recognize where we go wrong, then we can fix our footsteps so that the future, our tomorrow, becomes better than our today. This is Mojisola Wilson, and I say thank you for joining us. By the way, Authentic Conversations, the t-shirts are for sale if you'd like to support the movement. And buy a t-shirt or 2 or 10. Inbox me and we'll overnight. I ship every Friday. Oh, by the way, do me a favor and check out my page. It's called Shuku Accessories. I came up during this COVID times. Everybody was in lockdown. I took a few classes, diversity and inclusion at Cornell University. I did a sexual harassment training for managers and stuff because I had nothing to do. And then I said to pour my art myself into my art. So you need to go check out Shuku accessories, face masks, handbags, all made by me. Jewelry, I've always done jewelry anyways. I've had this jewelry line for about maybe 10, 15 years. But now I'm making handbags, I'm making bow ties, I'm making ties for men, I'm making t-shirts of all kinds of stuff. So check out Shuku accessories. I'll put the link on there in a little bit. All right. Thank you guys for joining me. Oh, you guys are so amazing. And thank you for chatting. There's nothing for me. This is like therapy. I come here, I talk every day with you guys. I appreciate your time because it's the most valuable thing we can give to each other. Namaste.